Turn the lights back on. Wow. Retro electro tech. When real audio ruled the world.
Okay, everything is pretty much back together for the most part, except, I have to mount this switchboard back into this position here, and, the faceplate, things like that, and the knobs, but that's fairly straightforward. So I'm going to continue on with that, but I wanted to stop here and mention that probably the most fidgety part, just about anyways, is the meter face here. And let me go ahead and zoom in real quick. Okay, here we are. As I pointed out a moment ago, you have these you can see the individual LED segments that are, of course, mounted to the circuit board behind this meter face here. And if you're not careful in lining up the individual LEDs with the holes on the back of the meter face, or cutouts, whatever you want to call those, then you can kind of run the risk of bending the individual LEDs, and then if you do that, you have to fiddle around, bend them back and all that. So you got to get everything lined up just so, okay? And the reason why that is a little bit challenging, again, like I always say, it's not rocket science, but it just takes a little bit of attention to detail. So let me show you why that is. Okay, so you can see how I have the amp positioned right now. I just have it on some padded blocks face down. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this board here. And here we are, all zoomed in. The little circuit board that I was talking about that has the individual LEDs mounted to it is located under here, under this board here. And as such, it has to mount up at least the individual LEDs excuse me, that are mounted to it. They have to line up with those individual openings or cutouts, if you will, on the circuit board, which is, or excuse me, the meter face, which is obviously located under here on the front of the amp. So what gets a bit finicky or fidgety or whatever is the fact that you have to be able to reach behind this board here, and you don't have very much room. If you notice, you know, my hand in comparison to trying to get in here with a little stubby screwdriver, it's a little bit difficult. Now, that said, these two screws here, obviously I had removed, but this board will only bend toward the camera, you know, it will bend back only so much is what I'm trying to say, because of the wiring on it. And it has some wiring that's pretty tight, so you can only bend it forward just a little bit. But that, in combination with having this switchboard out of the way, will allow access if you have a short enough stubby screwdriver, or, you know, Phillips, or a right angle screwdriver that you can get in there and tighten that little circuit board down to the meter face. And there's two screws on the ends, and there's one in the center that you have to gain access to. And I'm not talking about these two screws on the end, I'm talking about behind the board. But anyways, because this board is pilled down just a little bit, and there you go. So the finicky part of it is just kind of keeping the little circuit board lined up with the meter face, and you know, you can't let that board pop out of place and have those individual LED segments, you know, misaligned from the you know, little holes there on the meter face. So anyways, I just wanted to point that out because, you know, that takes a little bit of finagling and, you know, standing on one leg and rubbing your belly, tapping your head and slapping yourself in the forehead with your tongue. If you can accomplish all that, then you're good to go.
Wow!
So anyways, I'm going to move forward and get this thing reassembled, and then we'll go from there. Okay everyone, and here we are. Everything is all put back together. I just need to put the top back on, but I'm going to do a little minor cosmetic detailing first, kind of get her all polished up and ready to go. And over the course of a few days or so, I'm going to be getting it moved over to another test bench. I'm going to pipe some music into it, and this will be my main music source in the shop for the next few days or so, like I said. And I'm going to be playing it throughout the day at different volume levels, you know, off and on, so forth and so on, so that I will give it an opportunity to poop the bed, because if it's going to do that, I would rather have it happen here, of course. And I hope it doesn't, because like I mentioned earlier, I really don't have the time right now to prioritize on this and, you know, crack it open and go into a more extensive repair and or restoration, like I already pointed out. If something did happen, I'd have to shelve it and then, you know, let it work its way back up to the bench when I have the time to do it. So hopefully in the meanwhile, things will work out just fine with this, and the customer will be able to enjoy it at home for a while. And down the road, as I already mentioned, if he wants to package it up again and ship it down to me again, if he can't find somebody in his area, then that's fine. He can do that, and I could go into, you know, a recap and so forth and so on, and pull it apart, because, you know, it's going to be a big job, like I said. So that's about it. Another thing I want to mention is that when I do start prepping to ship it out, it was packed okay when it arrived, but not good enough for my standards and what I mean by that is the packing material again was okay, but I want to add to that, and of course I'm going to need to package it into a larger box to accommodate the extra packing material, of course, because since I'm going to be shipping it to you out of the country, God only knows what this amp may encounter. Hopefully it will be handled with care, but you never know. So that's about it. Now what I want to do is just do a quick audio test here on camera once again. Keep in mind that I can't really crank it up because it will swamp out the camera mic and sound like absolute garbage on your end. But rest assured, last time I was audio testing it, I was cranking it up a bit and it was doing good. It sounds good. So another thing too is I'm going to use some music that I downloaded from YouTube's library, and I burned it onto a CD and all that stuff. So the audio quality is only going to be so good anyways. So there you go. Let's go ahead and get to that. Okay, all the controls are set flat. And hopefully it's not completely swamping out the mic, but you get the point. Okay, so there you go. So like I said, I'm going to get this thing moved over to the other bench and start the testing and so forth, and that's about it for this one, guys. Like I always say, peace, love, music, and the vintage audio that brings it to your ears. So till next time, you guys all take care of yourselves.
This is a poor man's shoe production.